Welcome to the 1-Star Weak Foot Show, FIFA 21 edition, starring your host, 1-Star Weak Foot, and our review specialist, 1-Star Weak Foot. Bow! Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and welcome to the 1-Star Weak Foot Show, your one-stop shop for player reviews. I'm going to be your host today, 1-Star Weak Foot, and it makes me feel absolutely tremendous to see you back on the channel. Thank you very much for tuning in. So, as you guys know, we are in the midst of a new promo, the Rulebreakers promo, and it would be an absolute shame if I didn't review any of these cards. As I've said in a previous episode, I think this promo is a cool idea. It has high potential, but a lot of the cards they've dropped really just haven't filled me with excitement, which is why I haven't reviewed any of these cards yet. But there were a couple cards that caught my eye. The first one was Douglas Costa. I mean, as you guys know, Douglas Costa is a very, very close replica of Neymar when it comes to the pace, when it comes to dribbling, when it comes to his skill moves. But he is missing a bit of quality in the passing and the shooting department. But now that they've boosted him, is he going to be the cheap Neymar? That's what we're here to find out. The next player that really caught my eye is a player they dropped today, Talisca. I mean, at the beginning of every game, of every FIFA, he always masquerades as the cheap Pogba. Is he going to be, with the upgrades, now a very, very good attacking player? We're about to see. So guys, let's look at the cards. First, we have Douglas Costa. He's 5'8". He has the high medium work rates. He's left-footed with a 3-star weak foot. The 5-star skill moves. I played 5 games in division rivals with him. He got 3 goals and 1 assist. Before we go any further though, if you're enjoying the content, if you want more content like this, do me a favor, hit the like button down below. And if you're new to the channel, don't be shy. I don't bite. Please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all you guys at home for watching this video. So, when you look at this Douglas Costa card, I see a lot of things that really excite me. Of course, the pace, even with the downgrade, still very good. His shooting and passing stats have gotten a massive boost. I mean, 85 finishing on the Douglas Costa card is very, very unheard of. He also has some nice long shots and some shot power. His dribbling stats are still very Neymar-esque. I mean, 92 dribbling is absolutely sensational. Physically, he doesn't look too shabby. Of course, he only has 72 stamina, which is bad. Of course, he only has 59 strength, which once again, he's bad. But, I mean, he's a dribbler, so we're not really expecting him to be a powerhouse. But speaking of powerhouses, we're also here to talk about Talisca. He's 6'3". He has high-low work rates. He's left-footed with a 4-star combination. As you guys see here, I played 5 games with him in division rivals. I got 3 goals and no assists. And when you look at this card, he's gotten a lot of interesting upgrades. I mean, of course, the most apparent one is the pace. He has 87 pace. 91 acceleration is very notable here because normally cards that are tall on this game have low acceleration and high sprint speed. In this card, you have the opposite. We're going to see how that plays out in game. His shooting stats have gotten a decent upgrade as well. 82 finishing, 86 shot power, 89 long shots are very, very nice. 88 attack positioning, once again, is very, very nice. His passing stats look brilliant. I mean, if you want to play him as a cam, he looks like he can fill that role quite nicely. His dribbling stats are very nice as well. The standout stats here are the 90 agility on the 6'3" player, as well as the 85 dribbling. And physically, that's where he's gotten a downgrade, but at 6'3", I don't think he's going to be hurting. He has 71 strength still, 80 stamina still. So, without further ado, we're going to jump into the gameplay. Our review specialist, 1-Star Weak Foot, has taken the day off, but I'm going to be sharing with you my thoughts on these players. Let's get it. Alright guys, so first things first, we're going to be talking about Douglas Costa. He is selling for 425,000 coins on the PS4 market. Is he worth it? I would have to say he is definitely overpriced, especially considering you could get a lot of other options in his position. We're going to break down the stats though, so you know exactly what to expect. So first we're going to talk about his pace. He has 89 pace. How's it feel in game? Is the pace nerf apparent? I would have to say the pace nerf is actually pretty noticeable, but at the same time, he is by no means slow. What I will say is that after using his non-form card, his non-form card has that Mbappe type pace. This card is a step below that, which once again is not by any means slow, but is noticeably slower. He has a very good acceleration out of skill moves though, and once he's in behind, he is very difficult to catch. Overall, his pace is a 9 out of 10. Once again, not quite Mbappe, very, very close. Next, we'll talk about shooting, and I have a lot of things to talk about here. The first thing is the attack positioning. With 88 attack positioning and his pace, he's just a very, very hard card to mark, and he always makes himself apparent or makes himself open in dangerous positions. He has 85 finishing, and honestly, that stat felt like a lie. I'm not sure if it's a 3-star weak foot. I'm not sure if it's just his cards animations maybe, but his finishing felt definitely lower than 85. It felt like high 70s, low 80s. There were a lot of close shots that he had from good angles that he just couldn't slot home. I'm not sure what it was. His long shots, though, I will say were very, very nice. And although I didn't score any, I came very, very close on many occasions. Overall, I gotta give this guy shooting an 8 out of 10. It is a bit disappointing because at 85 finishing, I expected him to be very clinical, but he did have a decent shot on him. Next, we'll talk about his passing, and this is the aspect of the card that definitely shined. I played him at the cam position, and he excelled. A lot of that is due to his passing stats with an 82 vision, 85 short passing, and 86 curve. And you might be wondering at home, is this 67 long passing usable? I would say yes. I mean, I was using him in 3-5-2 as a cam. I was pinging over the top through balls with him with decent accuracy, without any issues, and overall, I gotta give this guy's passing an 8.5 out of 10. I do think his best position is at the cam roll due to his passing, and the next stat, the dribbling. How was his dribbling game? I would have to say it was absolutely brilliant. This is the one stat on this card that is elite, and you definitely notice it in game. He has 94 agility, 93 balance. His center of gravity is very low. The way you can turn a left stick dribble with this card will make you feel like it's FIFA 20 again. His 5-star skills are exceptional, and even though they've nerfed the Elastico today, this guy's Elastico is still absolutely insane. His scoop turn, still very, very nice. And in tight areas, he has that sticky because of the 94 dribbling, the 93 ball control. So even if you tackle him once, twice, 3 times, he could still come away with the ball. Overall, this guy's dribbling is a 9.5 out of 10. Finally, we'll be talking about his physical, and there is nothing to talk about when it comes to his physical. He's very weak, but he's not as weak as somebody like Mertens. He's a step above that, but at the same time, do not chill with him too often. He will get dispossessed. He has 72 stamina, which means that he will need a sub after 90 minutes. Overall, this guy's physical is a 5 out of 10. It's pretty mediocre, but that's pretty much what you get out of a card like this. Alright guys, so what's the final verdict of the card? I think this card is a very, very good card. He has good pace. His passing and dribbling really make him ideal for the cam roll. His finishing was a bit disappointing, I will say. I think some of that's due to the 3-star weak foot with the lack of outside foot shot trait. But overall, he has a decent shot as well. And I gotta give him an 8.5 out of 10. Is he a cheap Neymar? I wouldn't say he is. I mean, his finishing does leave a bit to be desired. But as far as his dribbling, his passing, and pace goes, he is very close to Neymar. Why I think he's not worth the money is because in Bundesliga, you got Sané, you got Coman. There's a lot of left mid options that are very decent for a fraction of the price. And at 420k, I just can't justify it. If he drops to 250k, I think that's a much better value for him. Next, when we talk about Anderson Talisca, his SBC is 60k. Is he worth it? I would have to say absolutely. For 60k, I think he's a brilliant card. We're going to break down the stats though, so you know exactly what to expect. So, first we're going to talk about his pace, and it is the most important attribute on this card as far as his upgrades go. And he felt pretty quick in game. His acceleration was definitely noticeable because with cards like this, I like to use the L1 fake shot. He did that very, very well. His sprint speed at 84 means that he's quick, but if he does get in behind, he probably will get caught up. Overall, this guy's pace is an 8.5 out of 10. It's definitely good enough to get in behind, but he's not a speed demon by any means. Next, we'll talk about his shooting, and there's a couple things to talk about here. His attack positioning was brilliant at 88. That's definitely noticeable. His long shot to 89, once again, with a finesse shot and outside the foot shot traits, make him very dangerous outside the box. Inside the box, though, I will say he was decent. Nothing more, nothing less. He finished everything he was supposed to finish. He actually felt like he had a better finish than Douglas Costa, but at the same time, he's not somebody that's going to be scoring you to have chances. Overall, this guy's shooting is an 8.25 out of 10. It's solid, it'll get the job done, but he shouldn't be a lone striker for you. Next, we'll talk about his passing, and honestly, his passing was absolutely brilliant. If you like big cams, I think he's going to do amazing in that role. His long passing and short passing are 84 and 86 respectively. His vision is 81, and his curve is 88. So as far as passing goes, this guy can execute all of them. The weighting on his passes were very, very nice. And overall, I got to give this guy's passing a 9 out of 10. Once again, if you do like cams in his profile, I think he'll be great. The biggest question on this card might be the dribbling. It's at 85, but he's 6'3". How did that play out? And I will say, as far as his dribbling goes, his L1 dribbling, his close control dribbling was surprisingly good for a big man. If you keep it simple and keep the ball very close to his body, he will do that very well. He has 85 dribbling, 87 ball control. His agility at 90 definitely was good in smooth gameplay. But when the gameplay was delayed, he became very hard to turn, and I don't think any stat will fix that because he's 6'3" with extremely long legs. Overall, this guy's dribbling is an 8.5 out of 10. It's very good for a 6'3" player, but he's not a Neymar. Finally, we'll be talking about his physical, and honestly, I did not notice the downgrades being an issue for him at all. 80 stamina is solid. It's not amazing, but it should be enough to last all 90. 71 strength at 6'3" is still very hard to dispossess. You can shield with him very effectively. You could L1 fake shot and use his big body to shield with him very effectively. Overall, this guy's physical is an 8 out of 10. I don't care what the stats say, he still feels pretty strong in game. Alright guys, so what's the final verdict on Talisca? I think he's a great card for 60k. If you need a cheap striker, if you need a cheap cam, I think he'll do the job exceptionally well. I mean, he's very well rounded. His passing is brilliant. His shooting is very good. His pace is solid. And his dribbling for a big man is very, very nice. What you're missing from this card is a little bit more agility, a little bit more balance because he's 6'3". What you're missing from this card is maybe a little bit more clinical finishing inside the box. But for 60k, I do think he's a great value. And I do suggest him if you're using a Brazilian team. Alright guys, so that's going to be my double review for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Once again, don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you in the next episode. But until then,